Hello everybody, my name is Sally. I'm a professional dancer and Pilates instructor based in the UK, and over the next few weeks I'm going to be sharing some short Pilates sessions with you. If you like what you see, you can head over to my website, the link is below, and you will find there that you can get involved with hour-long sessions. You can join me live over Zoom and you can take a look at my dance and fitness blog if that interests you as well. So this class today is all about ignition. The idea behind it is that we want to slightly raise the heart rate. We want to switch on our major muscle groups so that we are ready and raring to go for whatever the day has ahead. So let's go ahead and get started. Feet are hip distance apart. We're lifting up and out through the crown of the head. So I want you to feel as if you've got some real weight down to those feet there. They are grounded, rooted into the floor. Think about your feet as two triangles. You've got the ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, and the heel. We want to get an equal amount of weight on each of those parts of the foot. Spread your toes nice and wide and just gently press the pad of each toe down into the floor. So there we go, we're rooted. We can draw energy up and out from the mat. So now we want to lift up and out through the crown of the head, as if you have a helium balloon lifting you up and away. Visualise that spine elongating, the gaps between each vertebra being slightly bigger, more air, more length through each joint. Let's breathe in, draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Breathe out, let them sink, relax and release away. Have a little think about the position of your pelvis. It might be that you normally stick your bottom out a little bit. It might be that you normally stand a little bit this way. We want to try and encourage it to come into its neutral position in Pilates. So have a little play around. See if you can find a nice balance point in the middle, where it's directly on top of the legs. The spine is in its neutral S shape coming up and away. Let's close the eyes or lower the gaze. We're going to start taking some deep breaths in. Breathing into the side of the rib cage, expanding the ribs out to the side. Breathing out to sink, soften those ribs together. On your next in-breath, we're going to sweep the arms out to the side, up towards the ceiling. Breath out. Great big circle, they lower back down to the sides again. And again, breath in. Breath out, out they go. On this next one, as we breathe in, we're going to bring that weight forwards, press down into the balls of the feet, rise up. Breath out, sink those heels down to the floor. Think about a straight line from your second toe all the way up to your knee, through your ankle. Don't let those ankles wobble out to the sides. And again, breath in. And out, sink back down, weight into the heels. Let's just gently turn that head side to side. Let's take some little tilts. And tilt, roll forwards and round. And over to the other side. And again, around we go. And over to the other side. Let's pop the arms out to the side. So I'm going to just lift one knee, bend my arm at the elbow, tap that knee. Out we come. And tap and lower, and tap and lower. So thinking about keeping that length through the spine that we worked on. Even as we do this, we still feel as if we're lifting up and out through the crown of the head. Keep those breaths going into the side of the rib cage. Shoulders away from the ears. Good. Start to switch on those abdominal muscles so that you feel as if you're lifting that knee up. Partly because you're contracting in those abdominals. Good. Last one. Arms are going to reach up straight towards the ceiling now. Almost the same thing, but we're going to have a straight leg this time. So the leg's going to come up straight. We're going to reach down with a hand and see if we can tap the foot, the ankle, the shin, somewhere. And tap, tap. So we can keep a bent knee if it's too much for your hamstring here. Or we can have a straight leg if we're a little bit looser. Again, we are thinking about these abdominal muscles. We're drawing an X shape here, so think about that cross through the abdominals. 3, and a 2, and a 1. Good, lovely. Right, we're going to come around to a side lunge now. One foot out in front, and ball of the other foot out behind. So for this one, you might need to have a sock on, depending how slippy your feet are on your yoga mat. So we're going to pop hands to hips. This foot's out behind. I'm going to bend my supporting leg, my front leg, and slide this back foot a little way into my lunge and come back up. And again, bends and slides and returns. So what we're thinking about here is keeping this front knee exactly over the toes. We don't want it to come in or out. We want to keep it exactly lined up in front to protect that knee. Think about having a straight line from this back heel up through the body and out through the crown of the head. Let's take one more here. Nice deep bend. We're going to really make sure that the weight is over the front foot, because now we are going to bend that back leg at the knee and extend. And bend and extend. Good. 4. Keep that nice bend in the front leg. 3. Is it ignited yet? And 2. Last one. Good. So bring that back foot down. We're going to plant the toes down into the floor. Take a little bit of weight back into this leg now, but we're still mainly on the front leg. We're going to rise and lower here from this position. So my front leg rises and lowers. Again, think about that ankle position. Don't let that ankle roll in and out, but keep a straight line from the second toe right up through the ankle to the knee. 3 and 2. Last one. Good job. Legs are coming out nice and wide. Let's take a deep plie into second. So second position, if you're not familiar, we've got the legs nice and wide, we've got the toes out towards the corners. We bend the knees and we keep the knees over those toes. Don't let them come in, keep squeezing them out. While we're here, we're going to sink a fraction lower and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Up we come and round to that lunge on the other side. So get yourself nicely lined up, get yourself balanced before you go anywhere. Hopefully you've got a nice slidey foot, as we're going to bend, slide that foot behind and return. And again, slides back and returns. Think about that knee position, knee directly over toes. Slide and return. And again, slide and return. This one, we're going to go down and hold it there. So down we go. Weight all on this front foot. Really engage those abdominals and glutes to keep you solid. We're going to bend and extend. And 4. And a 3. I'm definitely feeling it on this leg. And a 2. Last one. It's not over yet. Plant that toe down into the floor. A little bit of weight into this back leg, but not too much. So you're going to squeeze up that heel and lower. Up and lower. Good. And 5. And 4. And a 3. And a 2. Last one. Good. Back to that plie. Nice wide second, feet are turned out, squeezing down, squeezing the knees out over the toes. Make sure those feet are nice and spread into the floor. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretching back up again. Now we're going to nod the head, roll down through the spine, hands are nice and heavy, reaching towards the floor. Gradual roll down, give each vertebra its chance. Until we come down to the bottom. You can take a little bend in your knees if you find that this is a real strain on your hamstrings, or you can keep the legs straight. I'm going to cross my arms, hold my elbows. But you can keep your arms long if you like, and we're going to take a little sway side to side. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Back to the centre. And let's roll ourselves back up again. Stacking one vertebra on top of the other, up we come. Nice long spine, lifting out through the crown of the head. Let's walk those feet back in until they're back hip distance apart. So I mentioned that pelvis a little bit earlier. Let's have another go at moving it now. I'm going to first of all tuck it under. So tuck that tailbone down and under. This reflects through my spine to make a rounded shape. I'm going to let the head nod forwards as well. Now pelvis is going to move first. I'm going to come back up into my straight line. And then I'm going to tilt it the other way instead, so it's a bit like you're sticking your bum out. Reflex up the other way, lift the gaze, lift the breastbone, and come up into a little bit of an extension here. And back to the centre. So we've got a little bit of a bend in the knees just to help this to move. Tucking that pelvis, rounding round. Back to centre. And the other way, sticking out that bottom, lifting the gaze, lifting the breastbone. Makes sense. Good. And again. Feel it right through that spine. From the front to the back. Nice and open across the chest, wide collarbones. This time, let's come back up to straight, straightening the legs. We're just going to think now about moving the pelvis alone. So I'm going to give it its little tilt forwards and back. See if you can give it a little rotate side to side as well. See how that feels. And come now to finding that central position where you're neither tucked one way, tilted the other, hips are nice and level into our neutral pelvis position. Excellent. So from here, we're going to think about zipping up, lifting up that pelvic floor, drawing the belly button into the spine, feeling everything coming in nice and tight around the spine to really support that movement in your lower back there. So we're going to hold it here, zipped up, squeezed in for 3, 2, 1, and release all the way back down. And again, we're going to lift that pelvic floor, we're going to zip up, draw the belly button into the spine, holding it as hard as we can at a 10 here for 3, 2, 1, and now releasing down, so we're holding at about 5, so about half as hard as we can. While we are here, engaged to a 5, I want you to take some deep breaths. Breathing into the side of the rib cage, expand those ribs out to the side. Breathe out, sink, release them back in. Even while we're engaged here in the abdominals, we can still breathe deeply into the rib cage. A couple more breaths, keep that engagement going. And one more. And breathing out. Fantastic. Now this is just a quick class and we've got a lot of muscles to ignite. So we're going to move on now down to the floor. So just find yourself down onto your mat and I'll see you there in a moment. Alright, so once we're down on the mat, we're going to bring ourselves right down into our semi-supine position. Take a second just to make sure you're in a really nice lined up position. Feet are hip distance, knees are parallel. Straight line through the spine, nice neutral pelvis. And relax those shoulders down. Let's take a breath here. Breath out, release, relax through those hip flexors, shoulders, neck, back, and again. Breath out to release and relax. All right, so this is an ignition class and I don't know of any better exercise to ignite the abdominal muscles than this one I'm about to show you. We're going to do an isometric abs exercise. So we're going to bring both legs up into your tabletop position. We're going to put the hands to the thighs. We're going to take a little curl up into the head and the upper chest. Then you're going to push your hands into your thighs and at the same time you're going to push your legs back into your hands so they don't go anywhere. You push, 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 hands to thighs, thighs to hands for 3, 2, 1, and let's leave the legs where they are, or hug them in, release the head back down. Hopefully you felt that in the abdominals. You might even have got a bit of a power shake going on there. Once again, legs up into tabletop, hands to thighs, little curl up, and we push, 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 push for 3, 2, 1, and release and relax. Lovely. We're going to take 2 more rounds. You can either do exactly the same thing again, or you can do a single leg instead. I'll show you the single leg, but feel free to stick to 2. We're going for single legs. We're going to put both hands to our right thigh. We're going to take our little curl up. We're going to push, 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 and we're going to extend the left leg out long. Push, push, push. 3, 2, 1. Back in we come. If we did a single leg, we've got to do the other one. So hands to the left leg. Curling up. Push, push, push. Extend that leg. 3, 2, 1. Back in we come. Really good job. Let's take a quick little circle with those knees. Release into the back. So from here, we're going to make use of the power that builds up in the abdominals by coming straight from our isometrics out into a arm and leg stretch. I'll show you it. We're having a double leg isometric push, hands to thighs, thighs to hands. Push, 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 3, 2, 1. Then we extend the legs out, extend the arms up overhead. Keep that belly button in towards the spine And release and relax in. So the things to really think about on this one, we don't want to let the abdominal muscles dome out. So we only want to lower the legs as much as you can control. Having them up here is easier than having them down here. So find the place which you can control them and keep it there. We also don't want that pelvis to move. So we want a rock solid pelvis, abdominals drawn in, navel to spine. All right, let's give it a go then. So starting off with our isometric abs, hands to thighs, little curl up. We push, push, push for 3, 2, 1. Legs shoot out, arms shoot overhead. And in we come. Good job. We're going to take 2 more of those, so let's get on with it. Curling up, push, 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 3, 2, 1, shoot. And in we come. Good job. Last one coming up now. Hands to thighs. Curling up, push, 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 3, 2, 1, and shoot out long. And release and relax back down. Really good job. So sticking with that real ignition of the abdominal muscles, we're going to take it into 100. You've got some options here for your legs. You can have them down on the floor, option 1. Option 2 is to have them in tabletop position. Option 3 is to extend those legs out. Now, again, the further they are towards the floor, the more of a challenge it's going to be for your abdominals. So pick the option which feels right for you. I'm gonna go for a straight leg, but fairly high. We're gonna take that little curl up through the head and chest again. Arms hover just off the floor. We beat those hands up and down. We draw the belly button into the spine. We breathe in for 5 and out for 5. So off we go. For in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Good, nearly there, well, halfway there. Out. Keep that belly button drawn in. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Good job. Reinflate those lungs. Have a stretch out to whatever feels like it needs it. Really good work, everybody. So time for a little stretch, you'll be glad to know. We're going to go into a glute stretch first of all. So let's just cross one ankle over the other knee and then thread your hands through and draw that thigh in towards you. You can use this other elbow to keep pushing your knee away. It might be that you don't need to lift this leg off the floor to get a stretch in your glute, so you might want to leave it just where it is. You could also pass a TheraBand in behind that thigh and pull on the band to draw your leg in a little closer if holding on here isn't comfortable. So whatever version of the stretch we're in, let's just take a couple of breaths here. And on each out breath, see if you can relax and release something which is holding on to some tension. See if you can create a little more space, a little more length through the glute of the crossed over leg into that hip. One more breath here. And we'll return to our starting position and cross the other leg over instead. And again, find your way into the stretch, whatever works for you. Might be here, might be with a band. Maybe you can use your hands. Now you might well find that this feels quite different from one leg to the other. Don't be alarmed. That's totally normal. We normally have one hip which is a bit more mobile than the other one. So just breathe and release into the stretch on each side. See if you can find a little bit more length. One more breath here. And we'll bring that foot down to the floor and the other. So we're going to bring the feet together now. I'm just going to let both the knees fall open, keeping the soles of the feet together. Now this is really going to depend on the shape of your hips and how much they move. So if they're here, if you're feeling a stretch in your inner thighs, then that's all that matters. I did a lot of ballet, so mine happened to go quite far, but that doesn't mean that that has to be what they do. They can be wherever they need to be in order to feel your level of stretch. So what can be quite helpful if you use your arms as well, open them out to the side at the same time as the knees open. You kind of feel like a butterfly opening its wings to the sun. So just enjoy that sort of wide open chest and open across the front of the hips as well. And just see if you can release into the abdominals, the hip flexors, anything else which is just holding on to some tension around the hips. One more breath here. Lovely. And we'll draw the hands and the knees back up together. Let's bring the hands back down to the sides. So I'm going to do a little bit more work for the legs and the abdominals there. Now to ignite them a little more. So we're going to stretch both legs up towards the ceiling. If you need to, you can have a little bit of a bend in the knees if it's too much for your hamstrings. From here, I'm going to separate them slightly. So we've got one's gone forwards, one's gone back. Then I'm going to take them out so that they are in a little bit of a second position. They are sort of in a V shape. Then they're going to come back so the other foot is now in front, then back to the side. So I've got right foot front, left foot back, both come to side in a V. Now left foot front, right foot back, side to side in a V. And again, we're just going to switch one to the other. Now, here, how wide you split your legs is entirely up to you. What you want to be able to do is to control the pelvis and the abdominals. So we don't want that pelvis to be rocking around. We want it solid and still. So if that means that your legs are doing a lovely, neat little diamond shape on the floor, then that is great. If you're more used to doing things like this and they want to go a bit further, also great. I've got a sideboard in the way, so that's about as far as I'm going to go today. Let's just take another 3 and a 2. Last one. Lovely. So let's bring legs back up to the ceiling. For this next one, I'm going to flex the feet and I'm going to turn my legs out. So they're kind of like a penguin. I've made a V shape with my feet here pointing up towards the ceiling. So they're going to open out to the sides. I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to cross my right foot in front of my left. And then I'm going to switch to the other side. Then I'm going to open them back out again. This time I'm bringing left foot in front of right and switch. I'll show you with my arms in case my feet have gone off the camera. Open to the side, front, back, out to the side, front, back. And again, we open, cross, cross, and we open, cross, cross. So I want you to think about crossing your inner thighs as you do this movement. You want to think about drawing those knees in together, the inside of your thighs to make that cross. Let's take one more to each side. Hopefully the inner thighs are starting to burn a little bit now. Out, cross, cross. Lovely, good job. Let's bring those legs in, have a little bit of a roll round. Your knees squeezed in. Release into those legs. Fab. Right, time to ignite the arms a little bit now. If you have a mini band, you can use this for this exercise. You'll pop it on over your wrists and you'll squeeze your arms out into the mini band. I'm going to demonstrate for if you don't have any equipment at home. You're going to bring both legs up into tabletop and you're going to put your hands inside your knees. So they are in between the knees. Now I'm going to squeeze again, like a little bit like that isometric abs exercise we did. This time the knees are staying where they are, but you are pushing outwards into the backs of your hands, squeezing them out into the knees. Think about drawing your shoulder blades together and down. Nice wide open chest. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good, I hope you felt that a little bit. We're going to do a couple more rounds, so don't worry if you didn't. Just squeeze a bit harder next time. Right, here we go. Hands inside of the knees. Squeezing out, shoulder blades together. Soften those ribs down towards the mat. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If you didn't feel it last time, then push a little bit harder this time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release and relax. Oh, good job. We've got one more round left. Hope you all felt something. Let's get it over and done with. Legs back to tabletop. Soften and release through here. This is an arm exercise, so we want to release through those ribs and abdominals. And squeeze, pressing the backs of the hands into the insides of the knees. Knees aren't going anywhere. Push as hard as you can. Push, push, push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release, relax. Good job. Right, feet are coming down to the mat. Arms are down by the sides. We're going to stick the knees together and stick the ankles together as well. We're going to come up into a bridge. So roll that marble towards your belly button, peel your spine off, and up we come. Now, because we've got the knees together and the ankles together, you might find that you can't come all the way up to a really high bridge like you might be used to. So just come to wherever you can to make a nice straight line through the spine. While we're here, I want you to imagine that you've got a 50p piece between your knees, and you don't want to drop it. So you are holding that 50p tightly between the knees. We've got a little squeeze there. We are engaging the abdominals, the inner thighs, the hamstrings, squeezing those knees together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down we go. Have a little moment to release. We're going to take 2 more rounds there. So up we come. Squeeze that 50p. If you're not feeling it, squeeze it a little harder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down we go. Oh, I definitely got it that time. We've just got 1 more round left. So find the right level. If your inner thighs have totally had enough, then feel free to separate your feet a little bit and do a regular bridge instead. So up we come. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down we go. Lovely. That's definitely ignited my inner thigh muscles. So let's just bring yourself up to sitting now, however you wish. We're going to have a quick stretch for the inner thighs. So one leg is going out long in front, the other leg bends at the knee, and you're going to pop the sole of your foot against your leg. Now that can be wherever you want. If you want a nice long position, then just pop it down by the calf. You can go knee, you can go a bit higher. It really depends on how much you want to stretch and how much your hips like this position. So, we'll walk the hands down, stretching over that leg. So use that breath, breathing into the side of the rib cage, breathing out to release and relax. Using that out breath to feel a sense of elongation through whichever muscles it is which are protesting or perhaps just resisting a little bit. Now we can stay just where we are, or if you like, you can walk your hands over a little bit more towards that bent leg and just get a little bit of a different stretch into your hip or your groin. And back up we come. We're going to switch legs here. So one leg out in front. Choose your position with the other one. And we'll walk hands down. So if this position causes you any problems with this knee, then what I'd like you to do instead is just to stretch with both legs out straight in front instead. And again, use that breath to find that release and relax. And if you want to come around into that side a little bit more. And back in we'll come. And let's just walk ourselves back up to sitting. So just bring yourself into a comfortable sitting position, whether it's cross-legged in a frog or legs out in front. We're just going to let the hands rest down and feel the parts of your body which are in contact with the floor. Feel them nice and heavy sinking down into that mat, rooted, grounded into the floor. At the same time, we are lifting up and out through the crown of the head. We have space between each vertebra. Breath in. As we breathe out, let's let the shoulders sink and lower away from the ears. Have a little mental body scan now, up and down your whole body. We've ignited most of our major muscle groups, so hopefully they all feel a little bit different to how they did before they started. The idea of today's class is that they should all feel switched on and raring to go. So remember, if you would like to have a little bit more Pilates, you are always very welcome to come and join my hour-long Pilates sessions. These are available via Zoom or anytime on my website. All you'll need to do if you want to get involved is to follow the link below to my website and follow the instructions there, and you can come and join me for an hour of Pilates. You can even do them over Zoom, which means that I'll be able to give you some feedback and some tips and things along the way. Also, when you go and visit my website, then don't forget to visit my blog as well. This is full of all kinds of information, thoughts, and general meanderings about theatre, fitness, Pilates, dance, all sorts of things. So if you're interested in any of the above, it'd be lovely if you wanted to come along and read what we've got going on as well. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can come and join me live on Zoom, and head over to my website if you want to read a bit more about what we're up to at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this class, and I hope I'll see you again very soon. Bye!